everyone. My name is John Brenneman, and I'm the president here at MOAA Vacations. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get started, just kind of wanted a couple of things I wanted to go over. First off, we will do a Q&A at the end of this presentation. So if you have any questions, we will give you the opportunity to ask those. After I speak, I am going to turn it over to Gina. She's going to start out talking about Collette Vacations, let us know a little bit more about them, the different type of trips that they offer. And then we are going to touch quickly. We're going to try to keep this under an hour. So we have 8 MOAA groups that we're going to touch on real quickly. So we'll go through those relatively quickly, and then we'll get to the Q&A. Once I'm done, if you want to start asking the questions, if you put your cursor, your mouse kind of down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little menu. There are a couple of conversation bubbles that says Q&A. Just go ahead and ask your questions there. I will be answering them while Gina is talking. If it is something that I don't know the answer to, or if it's something I think everyone will be interested in hearing about it, I may answer them during Gina's presentation, and then we will revisit them at the Q&A at the very end. We are recording this webinar, so we will send you a copy of this webinar probably either this evening or, if not tonight, early tomorrow morning. It is a holiday weekend. I'm sure everybody knows we are a little short-staffed, but hopefully we can get it done in time to get it out tonight. But we will send you a copy of it. Okay, so before I turn it over to Gina, for those of you who are not familiar, I always like to take a minute and just talk real quick about MOAA Vacations and what kind of makes us unique and the reason why we should be your travel agency of choice. The first thing we always talk about is our service. We do provide a concierge level of service. The thing that really sets us apart, though, is the fact that we do travel on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. It is through our partnerships with companies like Collette and individuals such as Gina that we're able to offer this. So if you have any problems, concerns, issues, either before or during your trip, you'll reach out to me. I personally get involved in resolving these issues. There are a few rare instances, if I'm unavailable, that Mike Tyrell, our VP, may assist as well, but we do guarantee that you'll be satisfied. We do guarantee the lowest price, and in fact, with companies like Collette, we're actually lower than the lowest price. We do have a MOAA exclusive amenity program. With Collette, that is an additional $50 or $100 off every tour that they offer. So in addition to the lowest price, you will have that additional discount. And then finally, we offer the opportunity for you to travel with your fellow MOAA members, not only in your local city or your local chapter, but from all across the country. And that's obviously a lot of what we are going to talk about today. In fact, in addition to talking about groups, we do have a signature group that we're talking about. And this slide just kind of quickly goes over what makes the signature groups unique. And the way I kind of position these is these are like a normal group on steroids. So you get all of the benefits you'd normally get from a group, the opportunity, the camaraderie, and the opportunity to travel with your fellow MOAA members at discounted price, those types of things. There are some add-ons that the signature groups include. The first is that they're actually hosted. MOAA leadership and MOAA staff are there on the trip. They're there to ensure that you have a worry-free vacation. As much as possible, we make these all inclusive. With the tours, it's a little bit more difficult, and it's clearly stated when we have a website for all the signature groups, so you can go in and see this. We do always like to put in exclusive onboard events to make these trips special. We're going to get into it a little bit, but the signature group we currently have with Collette is this one right here. It's a signature trip of Australia, New Zealand. It is in May of next year. We have 2 buses. The first bus sold out, so we got a second bus. We will not have a third bus, and there are only 18 seats on that second bus, so that would be 9 couples. There is a single rate. We do have a number of singles who are going on this as well, so that's why instead of saying we have 9 rooms available, we say we have 18 seats. So the second bus is almost filled up. When we talk about this and we talk about the special things, so one of the things we found from doing groups before is your typical land tour. You'll arrive and then the tour will basically start that day or that afternoon and evening. So we added an additional day to the standard Collette tour. So when you arrive, you actually have a whole day to rest and recuperate. As we all know, Australia and New Zealand are a long ways away. I think everyone's going to really appreciate that opportunity to rest, relax, have a day at leisure. The hosts and the tour guides will be there if you're looking for suggestions on where to go or what to see or those types of things. We will have a welcome dinner, an opportunity for you to meet all of your fellow MOAA members. And then we're really excited about something we added. And that is, in addition to doing a tour of the Sydney Opera House, we are actually also doing a dinner there, and then we'll see a performance that evening at the Sydney Opera House. What a great opportunity to do that. And that dinner actually is our farewell dinner. So we'll have a welcome dinner, a farewell dinner at the Sydney Opera House. And then following that farewell dinner, we'll actually see a show there at the Sydney Opera House. What a great opportunity that's going to be. And then the other kind of thing, if you went back a slide, it doesn't matter. I know what it is. The other thing about the signature groups is they are rare. We were only doing 2 a year. We're actually doing 3 next year, and we'll probably do 3 in 2026 as well. And that's because of the demand. As we do more and more of them, the people who've been on the signature groups like to go on them again. They truly are the most popular thing we offer. So something you should really consider. If Australia and New Zealand is on your bucket list, there is not a better opportunity to go to share this experience with our group. Will end up being almost 90 people between the 2 buses. So you and 80 plus of your fellow MOAA members have the opportunity to see all of this together. One other thing we always like to mention is the signature groups, just the normal groups that we have with Collette, or even if you're traveling on your own, you're always invited to bring friends and family along. And if you bring friends and family, if they're traveling with you, they receive all of the benefits that you do as a MOAA member. So the same discounted pricing, the same service guarantee, the same exclusive MOAA, the exclusive MOAA amenities. I don't think we've ever done a signature group where at least 1 or 2, if not more, couples have brought friends and family. So if you want to go to Australia, New Zealand, and you would have more fun, a more enjoyable time, if there was a friend or a family member or something like that who went along, absolutely invite them. And then one more thing before I turn it over to Gina is 8 groups is a lot to go over in this short amount of time. That last slide I forgot to mention was a screenshot of our actual Australia New Zealand website. So you can see we actually have 5 or 6 tabs, depending on how you count the homepage, that all the information you could want on this is at your fingertips. And then we also have a website that has all of the tours that we have blocked on it. And this next slide is a screenshot of that. So as Gina is going through all of these groups that we have set up, know that you can, when we send out the email to you with the link to this recording, it will also include a link to this website, which will allow you to click on any of these 8 groups that we're going to talk about today. And there is a complete website designed for each of these groups. So all of the information, the day-to-day itinerary, any other information you might want is at your fingertips. So as we go through these, and after she talks about Collette and the different types of trip and all that, we'll obviously have to go through the 8 groups relatively quickly, but know that the information is there at your fingertips. You'll get a link to this website. And of course, you can always give us a call or drop us an email and talk directly to an agent who can share that information as well. And one last thing I always like to mention, since we're going to send you a copy of this recording, or a link to this recording rather, feel free to share the webinar with friends and family who you think might be interested as well. So I know I went over a lot really quickly, but obviously we're here to hear more about Collette and these great groups we have set up. So without any further ado, Gina, I'm going to turn it over to you. Remember, you can ask questions while Gina's talking, and I will answer them during her presentation. And then at the very end, we'll do a Q&A, and we will go through all of your questions, answer all your questions. And hopefully you can join us on one, if not more, of these groups we're going to talk about. So Gina, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, John. I'm
Of
very
course.
excited to be here to tell you guys about some wonderful destinations. And we really appreciate our partnership here with MOAA, being able to take care of the wonderful travelers and provide you with countless opportunities to have benefits of being a MOA member, but travel with them. So I'm going to first go over a little bit about Collette just to give you some background, tell you what you can expect while you're on tour. And then I will go in briefly, just go over the group departures that we have for 2025 and one of them at the beginning of 2026, as well as highlighting on the signature group exclusive to Australia and New Zealand. So, when you travel with Colette, if you've never traveled with us before or it doesn't sound familiar to you, you may think Wheel of Fortune. If it does sound familiar, as we are the company that gives away free trips. What we offer for you is, and with this partnership, as John said, that we offer all inclusive, and that is what we strive to do. We want to make it very easy on you and have everything planned so you don't have to wake up and worry about how you're going to spend your day. You can expect to have 5-star service with 4+ star accommodations on tour with us. When you see we move from hotel to hotel, you're not going to have to worry about touching that 50-pound bag. We will handle that for you. You just set it outside your hotel room. We take it to your next hotel and leave it in your room for you so you don't have to worry about that. You do have a expert tour manager that is with you every step of the way. I always like to think of them as sort of a personal concierge, as they're there to not only tell you about the destination you're visiting, but provide that camaraderie and tell you about the hidden gems and things that you can do in your free time. We also will have expert local guides that are from the destination when we visit certain places, because who better to tell you about a destination than somebody that is from there? And so they'll be there to really tell you about the culture and history and really bring those sites to life for you. And we also, want to make it easy on not having to wait in line. You want to be able to maximize the most time that you have in the destination you're visiting. So you're not going to have to wait in any lines on any of the inclusions and options that we have for you. You'll just get to go right in so you can make the most of your time. We also, as you'll see through when I touch on the group departures, how we don't just travel by motor coach. We will use unique modes of transportation, and you'll see examples of that. How we do that because we want you to feel like a local when you're traveling with us. And last but not least, we are 107 years old. We are the longest tour operator in the United States. And, our tours are designed by travelers for travelers like you. And we've really perfected what guided touring looks like today. And something special that we do offer for you on our tours, if you purchase your airfare with us, we will actually, if you live within 50-mile radius of, we've got over 90 gateways that we offer this service, where we will pick you up at your home, take you to the airport, and take you back at the end when you purchase our airfare. So, just a few things that set Colette apart when you think about tours. So, we really want to break the misconception of what guided touring is. So, like I said, created by travelers for travelers. So, we pride ourselves on a very all inclusive products so that you're not going to have to pay extra for the must sees. While we do offer options on tour, they are just that, they're extras. So we really want you to spend time in the destination and not just on a bus the whole time. So, as I said, unique modes of transportation. And we also have free time built in for you to explore the way you want and really make the trip what you want it to be. We do offer something we call Choice on Tour, where we allow you to kind of choose your own adventure. This is no extra cost out of your pocket to do one thing or the other. So if you see that we've got Choice on Tour, that is what we are referring to. And we also really pride ourselves on fewer one night stays. So with that, you don't feel like you're just on the go all the time. We rarely have a round trip from the same airport because we really want you to get the full experience of the place that you're visiting. And when we say meals, we are talking about, tasting menus, cooking classes, farm to table meals, visiting a local's home. So we are not just going to be uh, eating at the hotel the whole time. So you can expect to really get to, experience the local cuisine of the place that you're visiting. And our hotels are, with being 4-star, they're also not just hotels. So, as you'll see on a couple different of these departures, we have some really, really unique stays for you. That is an experience that is included in the cost. So, whether you're staying on a private yacht or you want to go to Finland and stay in a glass igloo to see the northern lights, we, really pride ourselves on our accommodations, as well as when we stay in the city. We want those to be very centrally located so that when you do have free time, you are able to have everything at your fingertips. And last but not least, I want to touch on our tour managers. So, our tour managers are known to be some of the best in the industry. And the reason for that being is that they are all employed by Collette. Like I said, they're not just there to be, kind of IQ, they're there to, create a relationship and have that group camaraderie, that you can look at as a friend at the end of the trip that's going to tell you all about the places, not only the must sees, but those hidden gems. So, we're going to talk about two travel styles here today. First, being our classic style of travel, which is going to be a maximum of 44 people on the tour with an average of 37. These are great to for, getting to see the most of the destination, checking off those bucket list destinations, if you will. And then we have our exploration product, which is going to be our small group departures, where you're only going to have a maximum of 24 people on tour, average of 19. So, what these tours are really great for is being in a small group is, we want to create experiences for you that you get to connect with the culture and the locals and the places that you're visiting. So, with that, the explorations is what really makes us different on our small group tours is we don't take our larger groups and cap them at a smaller to make them, just a small group. These are designed from the ground up to, accommodations being where larger groups can't fit, more of a local vibe, if you will, as well as more cultural experiences on these. And before I start talking about the group departures, I just want to go over one thing that you will be able to find on all the information on the website that John mentioned. But we do measure our activity levels on a scale of 1 to 4, 4 being the most active. Now, keep in mind that this is measured based on a demographic of 50 plus. So this is not just an overall tour activity level, but we have details on why we make it a certain level. And, outside of the United States, there's not ADA requirements. So we want to make sure that you're going to be able to experience everything that you are visiting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera and I will go ahead and get started on talking about the wonderful group departures. So the first one we have will be March 22nd through April 6th of 2025 with the Mediterranean Coastal Journey, which is a 16-day trip. We've got 24 meals for you included. And this is going to take you to 4 countries. We're going to visit Spain, France, the Principality of Monaco, and finishing the trip in Italy. So just to give you an idea of what the itinerary looks like, start with an overnight flight to Barcelona, and we will make our way to Marseille as well as the French Riviera. And then we go on to Waterford, and then we end in the Italian Riviera and finish off the journey in Tuscany. So, just a few highlights of this tour. When you are visiting Spain, you're going to get to see the La Sagrada Familia. We're going to take you all to all the must-sees. If you've never been to the Costa Brava, that it is absolutely spectacular. All of our hotels on this tour are very centrally located, and you've got restaurants and shops at least within walking distance for you. So we start off on the seaside and end in the countryside. And John touched on most of this at the beginning, but we do have about limited departures left, or limited seats left, 18 on this departure for Australia and New Zealand. And this one will have its own website, as John mentioned, that you or own link on the MOAA website with all the information because this is an exclusive departure. So May 6th through the 21st of 2025, where you're going to get to travel along the coast of Australia through New Zealand's South Island. You're going to get to see all of the ethereal beauty that New Zealand provides, as well as, the metropolis cities in Australia. So, John did touch on this with what we have, what makes this an exclusive departure. So you will have a MOA host with you, but we have all of your transfers included for you from Christchurch Airport at the beginning of your tour from the Sydney and from the Sydney hotel to the airport at the end of the tour. We did add in that pre-night already. So, after that long journey, this gives you a time to get settled in. We also have a welcome dinner included for you. That is in Christchurch, where you'll get to meet everybody in your group and prepare for this journey ahead. And then, last but not least, we have a very, very special farewell dinner where you're not only going to get to have some wonderful cuisine at the Sydney Opera House, but also experience a performance. So just to give you an idea of what the itinerary looks like here, we've got all our hotels listed here, and you can find all of this information. But we are going to start in Christchurch and end the journey in Sydney. Along the way, you're going to get to have the unique opportunity to see all of the iconic landmarks, such as the Sydney Opera House, as well as the opportunity to go snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef. And we do have a wonderful extension on this that kind of breaks up your trip at the end to Fiji. Kind of breaks up that flight. And this just gives you the time to kind of relax on the beach. Really, this is going to be a very casual and very great time for you to just sit on the sandy beaches and relax after your tour. Okay, so that covers the exclusive departure that we have. Now I'm going to talk about some of the other group departures that we have, which is um, next one we have is June 7th through the 22nd of 25, where you get to explore Japan and South Korea. We're going to see cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and you're going to be traveling between them on the famous bullet train. We've got some really unique opportunities on this tour. Um, Especially getting to, I think it's really unique that we've added South Korea because it's not somewhere that may be on your bucket list, but it's got a lot of complicated history, as we know, which we're going to take you to see and really get to know the history here. So we'll travel by train here, and we'll start getting to see the Japanese countryside. But this is going to be a really cool way to get to see everything that travels over. It's a high-speed train traveling over 200 miles per hour. So some of the highlights of the things you'll get to see. So of course, see the gleaming beauty of the Golden Pavilion. We'll also get to see the swaying trees in the bamboo forest. Um, and then also getting to see the district in Osaka where you can have shopping, dining, nightlife. You get to learn why it is known as the kitchen of Japan, as you'll get to sample all of the wonderful street food here, which it is a worldly renown known for. And then ending in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, where very deep roots here, has a little bit of something for everybody. We're going to get to go visit the Korean demilitarized zone, where you'll get to learn about how they escaped from the South and just adjusting to their new life and the struggles that they face in a new country. Also, a really cool thing that we'll get to do is actually sit down for a home hosted traditional Korean lunch with a local family where you'll get insight into their daily lives and be there to, ask questions and learn all about their unique culture. Next departure we have is July 28th through August 11th of 2025, where we will take you to explore South Africa, Victoria Falls, and Botswana on this 15-day trip. We also have an optional 3-night Dubai pre-tour extension if you want to add that in. But this tour is great, especially if you're a wildlife lover. So we are going to get to seek the big five out on 8 different safaris. Just to give you a look at all of the parks that we're going to visit while we're here and get to see a variety of different animals and many opportunities to do so. So, as I said, we do go on 8 game drives on this trip, where you will get to experience. These do start a little bit earlier in the day. So just to give you an idea on this tour, it's is going to be a little bit longer days, because we want to give you the opportunity to see everything and get that full wildlife viewing experience. So, just to give you an idea of some of the animals that you may get to see as we head into the animal kingdom, and get to see all of the nature, and getting to have lunch in the parks as well. One of the highlights of this tour is absolutely seeing the Chobe game drive here. Driving out and hopefully getting to see lions and cheetahs and many different animals that you may have not gotten to see before. And then we end the tour. We're going to get to explore South Africa's oldest town, which is Stellenbosch, where we will get to learn about the wine, food, and art and culture, and get to visit a winery. And then after experiencing the wild and the winelands, you are going to spend some time in Cape Town, which is known for its beautiful beaches and coastal drives and many different experiences that you'll get to see here in Cape Town. Next departure we have is August 24th through the 31st. So this time next year, you could be on a Canadian Rockies adventure through Rocky Mountaineer. This is a really, really cool journey to see the stunning landscapes, not only the turquoise waters of Lake Louise, but getting to see Banff National Park, and all by Rocky Mountaineer train ride, which offers panoramic views for you. So, just to give you an idea of all of the sites that you're going to get to see, um, where going to be scenic drives through. This is a tour that you're really not going to mind just sitting back and looking at all the beauty here. The Rocky Mountaineer offers a luxury rail experience. Um, it's got those glass dome ceilings, so you can view 360 and panoramic views through the coaches. It's got great cuisine and world-class hospitality on it, as well as your onboard host, which are going to be there to provide storytelling and point out wildlife sightings, really making it a truly immersive travel experience. We also do have the opportunity to upgrade to the Gold Leaf service as well. All of our guests automatically receive the Silver Leaf service, but we do have the option to upgrade to the Gold Leaf, which already transforms this already luxury experience into something just a little bit more extraordinary. This offers upper level views, the glass bi-level glass domed coaches, and exclusive dining area. And of course, I've talked a lot about Rocky Mountaineer, but of course, have to touch on getting to see those turquoise waters here, where you'll have the opportunity to see Lake Louise and Banff, and see why it is one of the most photographed glacial lakes here, where you'll have some time on your own to do some hiking and exploring. Next departure we have is October 9th through the 20th, where you will get to see Old World Sicily and Malta, which is a 12-day tour, which is a truly two-island paradise that are nestled right in the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean. So we will begin with getting to see Malta with a 4-night stay. And then we make our way to Ragusa, and then you've got a 3-night stay in Taormina. So while we are here, you'll get to see the world-renowned Marsala wine on a wine cellar tour, as well as getting to experience a taste of the wine at the end, as well as soaking up all the ambiance of the islands here as we stay at a beachside resort. And of course, Italy is not somewhere where you just go to eat, it's somewhere where you go to dine. So we will get to have some wonderful cuisine here on a walking tour. And in Taormina, you actually have a beachfront resort. So we do have some free time for you that you'll get to have some time to relax on the beach, make the adventure what you would like. And we'll also do some touring to see famous Mount Etna. I was actually here in April, and the volcano just erupted here recently, so it's really unique actually being there. And then there was smoke rings going off the mountain, and somebody told us that that was a sign it was going to erupt soon, and they were right. So we're going to take you to the village where you'll get to see 360-degree views, as well as the opportunity to not hike all the way to the top, but hike around Mount Etna. Next departure we have is Wonders of Thailand. So this is going to be October 23rd through November 7th, where we are going to delve into a land where we're going to get to see the bustling modern cities here. We'll get to see the famous temples as well as some stunning jungle beaches. So we start our journey in Bangkok, and we also end there. So if you don't know, they are very known for their street food as well. So not only are we going to get to see the golden statues and Buddhist shrines, but we'll get to try some spectacular street food and really explore this melting pot of culture here. As I said, we don't just travel by motor coach. We will get to explore the canals of Bangkok, Old Town on a boat trip here. We'll get to see the famous reclining Buddha here, as well as many more temples, getting to go inside some of the temples as well. And of course, going here to try all of the different flavors and the famous street food. And then we've got a special ending for you where we're going to take you to an elephant sanctuary where we trek by a 4x4 vehicle where you'll get to prepare some tasty treats for these endangered residents and get up close and get to know these wonderful creatures here. And last departure we have is going to be in March of 26, so March 23rd through the 26th. Iceland's magical northern lights. So, if you've never been to Iceland, it is absolutely feels like you are in a different world. It's hard to actually believe that it's in Europe here. So, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, we are going to travel all over, but your evenings are going to be filled with searching for the northern lights and all of the national parks. So, some great things that are going to be included on this tour. You're going to get to experience some wonderful cuisine, where we'll eat at some local restaurants. Um, we're going to not only explore for the Northern Lights by foot, but we're also going to take a Northern Lights cruise in Reykjavik. And then getting to go see the Lava Exhibition Center, and then also getting to go to the famous Blue Lagoon, where you can kind of look at it as a spa day, where you can just soak in the geothermal springs there and see just 360 views and, end your trip in comfort. And once you do travel with us once, we do have a loyalty program. This is something that you are automatically enrolled in when you travel with us. So we have level one adventure and level two explorer. The way we look at it is basically the more you travel, the more rewards, and the bigger the trip, the bigger the rewards. So when we have level one, you're looking at a 5% discount loyalty credit. If you complete one to two tours within a 12-month period, and then level two, if you explore within 13 to 24 months, so within 2 years, you will get a 3% loyalty credit. This is not something you need to sign up for. This is something that you are automatically enrolled in and will be applied when you book with us. So, as John mentioned, we've got all of these departures and your MOA discount does apply. We've got $50 to $100 discount on all of our tours. And we really are thankful for our partnership here with MOA because we know they're going to take great care of you. So, if you're interested in any of these group departures or any of our individual tours, please contact the MOA Vacations, where you can find the numbers here and the email, as well as the websites that has all the details of each of the trips that I just briefly touched on.
Fantastic, Gina.
Thanks, John.
Hey, I actually was just on vacation beginning of the month and went to Mount Etna. And when you were there, had it erupted at all? Because when we went there, it was like you were on another planet because the black ash was everywhere. It was like a black ash beach as you went up the mountainside. And then the major eruption was like a week and a half after we were there. And same kind of thing with the smoke going up and stuff. But an unbelievable experience at Mount Etna.
Yeah, we just there was not any hiked pretty close to it and there was not any black ash, but they did have like the mountain was had all these smoke rings coming out of it and we thought there's one of my coworkers is kind of a jokester and was saying that that's means it's going to erupt and we didn't really believe him and then a couple months later there
Yeah.
we are and it erupted. So yeah, it's I'm sure be cool to see it from both perspectives.
One other thing I wanted to touch on, we don't have any questions yet. As a reminder, if you have any questions, if you put your cursor, your mouse, or whatever at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the little navigation bar, and just type your questions in there at the Q&A. Was you mentioned Iceland? So we did a signature group to Iceland last year. So we had two buses that did Iceland, and I just want to reinforce one of the things Gina said, and that is the guides that they have on the tour guide really is such an important component of a tour. And the tour guides we had for Iceland with Collette last year were just phenomenal. Rave reviews about them. For those of you who get the newsletter, you might have noticed that I think it was just January of this year. I actually interviewed one of the tour guides that was on that Iceland trip because the couple of folks that went from MOAA Vacations to help host that both just talked about what I think her name was a Juna, if I remember correctly. Anyway, just did a phenomenal job. So certainly something there to consider. And one other thing, once again, we're going to send you, for those who came in a little late, we are recording this. So we will send you an email, which will have a copy of or a link to this recording. We have our own YouTube channel. So you will actually be able to review this if there's anything you want to look at again. And you're invited to bring friends and family along. They'll get all the MOAA amenity and benefits that you receive as a member. Anyone who travels with you would receive all those MOAA perks. Um, you can share that webinar with them as well. That will also include a link to the website for the signature group for Australia and New Zealand. And it will include a link to the tours page on our website where all the other tours will be listed. So they'll be kind of listed in date order. And then if you click on any of them, you'll be taken to a full website where they have all the information. Of course, the easiest thing I think to do is give us a call or drop us an email if you don't already have a travel consultant here you're using. We'll get you one. They're full-time professional. You'll love them. And work with them to do something. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, and I see we've got at least one question now, is when we go through these, obviously if we do a group, and I'm going to do the Thailand, let's say for example, if you wanted to go to Thailand, keep in mind that the date that we kind of show is the group departure date where you would go and it's open to all MOA membership. If that date doesn't work for you, Colette does that tour multiple times throughout the year and year after year. So let's say 2025 doesn't work for you. You can book that exact same tour in 2026, or you can do a different month in 2026. And that really applies to the 7 non-signature groups that we talked about today. The signature group, Australia, New Zealand, that one's a little unique. You can still do South Pacific, excuse me, South Pacific Wonders with Colette, which is basically the same itinerary, but all of those exclusive things that we added, the additional day, the transfers, the big thing, of course, being the dinner and the performance at the Sydney Opera House, those are only available on that signature group date. And obviously, Gina, approximately how many different tours do you offer? I mean, there's hundreds of different options that you have for tours. And we obviously didn't hold space on all of those. So let's say you sat through this and you said, you know what I really want to do is I want to go to insert something. I want to go to South America, or I want to do this or that. Um, Absolutely give us a call or drop us an email. We do have that MOA exclusive amenity, which is going to offer that additional discount on top of the guaranteed lowest price. So you can literally go on any tour that Collette offers to anywhere in the world, and you get that satisfaction guarantee, guaranteed lowest price with the additional discounted amenity. And
Yes,
then
we've got 170 plus tours, all 7 continents. So
uh,
literally any corner of the world that you want to visit, you can, um, you know, go on any of our departures and get that Mo exclusive discount.
yeah, the webinar, if we would have gone through all 170 of them, would have been days long. So obviously, I mean, that's great to know. So of the 170 itineraries they have, we looked at 8 of them today. So 5%. So there's a lot more that they offer. And then one other thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned, because when we talk about the loyalty program, our signature groups are part of that program. So if you went on Iceland last year, or if you're going to go on Australia, New Zealand next year, that any group you go on, individual signature group, all kind of, I don't know, I guess say tallies towards that past passenger program. All right, so we have one question. How many of all the trips are MOA? Everything we talked about today would be a MOA group. So the Australian New Zealand one, once again, is unique. It's a signature group. We only do, I guess we're doing 3 a year now. So we only do 3 of those. The 3 signature groups for next year, Australia, New Zealand with Collette, which is a tour. We have a ocean cruise on a yacht, Greek Isles. That's with the Atlas Ocean Lines. And then we have a river cruise with Uniworld, which is Burgundy and Provence. So we offer tour, ocean, river. So one of each. And those are exclusive. So if you go on the Greek Isles cruise, for example, we have the entire ship. There's 92 staterooms, if I remember correctly. So everyone on that ship will be a MOA member or a MOA guest. Same kind of thing with Australia and New Zealand. Both of those buses are exclusive MOA buses. So everyone on the bus, or who's going to dinner, or any of the type of events, are going to be MOA members or MOA member guests. The other 7 groups that Gina talked about today, we blocked group space on those, but they will not be exclusively MOA members. So you'll get on a bus, and let's say the bus has 44 passengers. I think most buses are kind of in that range. It may only be 12, 14, 20 people are MOA members, and the other people aren't MOA members. So when we do groups, it's not kind of an exclusive departure. So we went through everything we have. So of the 170 different itineraries they do, and some of the itineraries they will do 20, 30, 50 times a year, depending on the length. So we have group space on 8 of them. So not that there's not a chance that if you go on a tour, there might not be another couple from MOA on it, but unless they're friends and family of yours, the odds are against it, because they have so many tours. It would just be luck. Not that that doesn't happen. I went on a cruise a few years ago. I think my daughter was like a freshman in high school, and we literally went on the cruise. And by coincidence, she does the kind of stage productions. Someone she met who was also in that school play was on the exact same ship and the exact same itinerary. So it can happen, but look, it's happened once that I ran into somebody I knew with the 100+ cruises I've been on. So I hope that answers your question on how many of all the trips are MOA. But keep in mind, even if we haven't held MOA group space on the Collette tour you want to go on, you still receive all of the MOA amenities and perks. So we got a few more minutes if anybody else has a question. I don't know if Gina, there's anything else you wanted to touch on. Otherwise, I mean, we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that covers it on everything, and you kind of touched on everything. But definitely visit the MOA website to look into some of these departures because we only touched on them briefly. But there's a reason that we picked all of them, and they're all very unique tours that really gives you. Really gets you dives deep into the destinations that you're visiting. So, definitely just check those out if there was any that caught your eye.
Yeah, it's a combination. So we work with Collette. Let's take Australia and New Zealand out of it because the signature group is something that was scheduled 2 years ago. A lot of planning goes into doing those types of exclusive groups. But if you look at the other seven groups, basically that was a conversation between myself and Collette, Gina, and some other folks at Collette, and looking at what the most popular destinations that Collette has, but also looking at where MOA members want to go because we want to pick a date and an itinerary that we think will appeal to the most MOA members. I always do this. If you have a suggestion for 2026, we've only got one group in 2026 so far. Somebody just said something. Do you do USA? We do USA. People do it since COVID. I will say since COVID, the majority of the interest or the requests that we have been receiving from MOA members has been for international travel. I think, we had a period of time where you couldn't leave the United States. So most of the calls and requests we get are people want to go to Europe or want to go to Asia or want to go someplace that they were told you couldn't go to for a year or however long you want to say that COVID lasted. But prior to COVID, we did US groups. Colette certainly offers them. It's great timing on the question, Dennis, because I was about to say, if you have suggestions for groups that we should do for 2026, we're always open for suggestions. You know, I mean, Gina, you can jump in here and say what your more popular ones, but I know national parks was one that we'd done in the past that had a lot of interest for there's so much to see in this country and a lot of people haven't seen it all. So to answer your
Absolutely,
question,
that's a great
Dennis, go
one.
ahead. I'm sorry, Gina.
No, that's a great one. We also have some new ones that we go to California, see the sequoia trees, go to San Diego. We also have one where we go to Mackinac Island, get to step back in time, stay in the Grand Hotel. Um, we have we have a lot of great ones, but yeah, I national parks is definitely my favorite, and we've got a couple different itineraries on that
Yep.
where we go to the national parks and which really just feels like you're in a different world when you go
Yeah.
there, as well as over in New England, we've got fall foliage tours. We've got Spotlight on New York City, where you get to see some Broadway shows. So yeah, there's
I,
many different ones that we can look at if that's of interest for
I know one we've
2026.
talked about before would be like the islands of New England.
Mm-hmm.
Which looks like a fantastic itinerary. Okay. Are there different itineraries available for Canadian Rocky tours via train? So we talked about the one Canadian Rockies tour that includes the Rocky Mountaineer. Do you have other Canadian Rockies by train tours, other itineraries, or just the one, Gina? I do not know
Yes,
the
we
answer to that.
do. We do have ones that are not Rocky Mountaineer. We have one where we stay overnight on a train because on Rocky Mountaineer you don't sleep on the train. But yes, we do have one which is just called Canadian Rockies via train. If you want to look into that one, you can contact MOA and they can get you the information on that.
Yeah, the reps could work with you when and where you want to go and those types of things. Since you brought it up, this questions came up before when you say on the Rocky Mountaineer one, you don't overnight on the train. Um, there's a couple reasons for that. If you've ever done an overnight on a train before, then you realize that the sleeper cars are very small. Typically, there is one restroom kind of for the entire car, or maybe two restrooms for the entire car. So it's not kind of a luxury experience. So you're on the train during the day and then you get off and stay at a 4 or 5 star hotel that is going to have all the amenities, the room, private bathroom, a shower that's bigger than a broom closet type of thing. And then the next day you get on the train again. Um, from take it from somebody who's done both. It's much nicer during the day when you're sightseeing to be on a train. And then when it's dark and you're not going to see anything out the windows really anyway, to get off the train, luxuriate in a nice hotel, have a big, comfortable room on your own, and then get up the next morning and get on the train again.
1000%
Okay.
agree, John. That's
Huh?
yes, I agree on that. The rooms are very, very small. When you sleep on the train, it'd be a much more comfortable experience on the Rocky Mountaineer.
Yeah, and trust me, when you get up in the morning and you decide you want to take a shower, and if there isn't a line, the shower is literally minuscule. And it reminds me of when I first got out of college and I was doing a Euro rail pass across Europe. And this was before I even got in the travel business. And, you'd stay like at a hostel or whatever. And it's like, a public bathroom at the end of the hall. And there you are. It's like being back in college, standing in line with your kind of bathroom kit or whatever. How do the discounts work if you take multiple trips? Can you address that, Gina?
You mean for the Passport Club or
Well, she
for
does.
just the MOA discount?
Okay. I'm late. Laurel asked two questions. How do discounts work if you take multiple trips? For example, a cruise in 2025 and another trip the following year. Okay. So each vendor has their own past passenger program. So when Collette talks about their past passenger program, it's how many Collette trips you take. It's not a MOA program. So if you take what we'll just say, you take a Uniworld cruise in 2025 and a Collette tour in 2026, or the other way around, there's not any additional discounts available. But if you take a Collette in 2025 and a Collette in 2026, there's a discount on the 2026. Likewise, if you take a Uniworld in 2025 and a Uniworld in 2026, they also have a past passenger program. So I'm not sure that's answering the question that you have. Is there anything else you want to add, Gina, on how your past passenger program worked?
Yeah, so basically, you would get a 3% credit if you take a Colette trip within 1 year, in addition to the MOA benefit discount. But if you took two Colette trips, it bumps you up to 5% loyalty credit.
Gotcha. All right. Lisa says chat is disabled. I do not know why chat doesn't work with the way we set up webinars, but if you have questions, instead of putting them in chat, if you could put them in the Q&A. And I think when you set, and I'm not a technical person, so I'm probably going to get this wrong, but when you do the settings, when we set these up, we have specific things we want, which is, uh, being able to share the screen, Gina and I both being able to be on camera and talk at the same time, to have the Q&A set up the way we do and record the whole thing. Chat doesn't work. And you can set up other things where chat works, but then other features don't. It's a Zoom thing. Maybe we should be using a different platform like Teams or something like that. I'm 60, I don't even know, 62, I guess. I don't keep track anymore. So I'm not probably the most technical person to know all the difference between those. But if you have questions, you can't put them in chat. You need to put them into the Q&A. Or since we're about to finish up, since it's 2 minutes before the hour, Doug, if you want to give a call, you can call Lisa or you can call whomever your agent is, and they should be able to answer any questions you might have. All right, so that's the extent of the questions for now. We like to be punctual, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Just reiterate the fact, be on the lookout for the email. It's going to have a lot more information, links to the websites, and a copy of the, or a link to this webinar so you can watch it again. And as we conclude, Gina, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule. We obviously spent time before this webinar putting it together. You're very busy. You work with a lot of different travel agencies beyond MOAA. So to take, a couple hours out of your busy schedule this week to spend with us to do this webinar on behalf of MOAA Vacations, and all the members who signed up and joined us today. Want to thank you for your time and your continued support, and I'm going to turn it over to you for the final word.
Yes, and thank you so much, John. We very much appreciate your loyalty and are very thankful to work with you all and know that you take great care of us. So thank you so much, and looking forward to our next webinar where we talk about sport trips.
There you go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Relax. We are actually closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the holidays. So you can call us today, tomorrow, or on Tuesday. Give us a call, drop us an email, and we would love to help you book your next Collette or your first Collette vacation. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.